I am since 3 years now the co-founder and happy manager of a festival, as you said, called SeaNaps, based in Leipzig, Germany. When we founded the festival 3 years ago, we immediately thought about blockchain my art, or what was going to become blockchain my art. So we based our work on 2 observations regarding the music circuit, but I think we can probably extrapolate it to the cultural circuit in general. But let's start with the music circuit. How is it working today? 2 simple observations: it is still too opaque. That means that lots of money is being spent, like audiences keep on coming to festivals more and more every year, according to many studies. The price of tickets is still rising, the price of gastronomy selling is not getting lower, and yet artists and cultural workers still struggle to make a living. So how is it possible? Well, we have here what you could call a school case of a black box economy. The second problem we try to tackle is the fact that, in our opinion, new technologies applied to cultural context, especially live events, were not really answering the problem or like giving a solution to it, but sometimes even rather adding to it. And what we had in mind as unhappy users and users was cashless systems. So if you've been to one cashless festival already, you probably had maybe a hard time loading your bracelet with your tokens on it, and probably an even harder time getting them back at the end. And what I have in mind here are the leftover credits at the end of an event. So you have this €1, €2, €10 that you did not consume, and getting it back is a hard job sometimes. Of course, some of the cashless operators are making a business model out of it and are proposing it this way to many events, saying like, look at all this money you can keep. But we believe, and I think many festivals also believe it, but this is not a stable basis to build a sustainable trust relationship with your audiences. And indeed, the feedback festivals are getting from their audiences on social medias, for example, are usually quite negative. So why can't I get my money back? What's happening? It's untransparent, I don't get it, and it was not even faster. So we decided to tackle these 2 issues at the same time. It took us 1 year to make the production for the first festival, and 1 year as well to code the app ourselves. We decided to use blockchain technologies. Thank you for introducing it, so I can remain in time later. But we used many of the mechanisms you described, such as smart contract, for example, and all the aspects of distributed ledgers. We've used many blockchains. I can answer questions later. We've used Ethereum public. We made a sidechain on Ethereum. We use Ripple blockchains, and we've tried it in many different festivals. In 2 words, what is happening when someone is coming to the SeaNaps festival and buys beer, let's say for €3, something like that, this money is usually being spent afterwards to pay the artist, to pay the supplier, the venue promoter, or like associations or actors revolving around this event. With our system, they're paid directly. They're directly getting a share on it. And we're not only operating this payment, or like, for example, the bonus that an artist can get on its fixed wage, we also make it public and visible for the audiences. Why do we do this? Well, we follow something you could call a fair trade logic. We think that when you know what you're buying, and when you know that it is that your money is being used properly and is being used to help actors that you want to support, then you're more keen on spending it. To prove that, we also added to our solution, a donation system, which allows the audiences to directly donate to artists they like, to local associations, to the festival itself. So to festivals, we're saying basically, you're not gaining money from forgotten token. You gain it from conscious and active donations that you receive on top of your normal festival economy, of course, and on the fact that it's sometimes quicker to use cashless. So it comes in 2 parts. To the festival promoters, we give first a dashboard in which they fill their list of products, their catalog, etc. They write in there the redistribution rules they want to be applied to each one of these items. So if this beer is being sold at this bar on a Friday night, that person needs to get a share on it. If it's a burger on Sunday, it's more that. Sometimes it's very simple, sometimes it's more complex, and the choice is being left to the cultural promoter. So they don't have to rethink everything. They are given the possibility to do it. On top of that, they can also insert in this back office the aesthetics of the festival. So like, I don't know, their logo, their poster, etc. Also the info as program, etc. They can have podcasts or players inserted in it as SoundCloud or whatever you want. And so that generates a mobile application for the festival as well. To the sellers, we give these terminals, so it's basically phones, NFC phones. They use it to process all payments. So someone comes with a bracelet, they flash it, they write, like they select the product, proceed to transaction, and the transaction is directly emitting to the blockchain. We also innovated in one thing, which is that we propose hybrid systems. So it is also possible to accept cash. And when you do, you then write the amount of the transaction in it. Tokens are also issued and also distributed, which means that whether it's being paid cash or cashless, all the transactions are being recorded on the blockchain and visible to all. Also via the back office, you can get the metrics of the festival, etc. What do the visitors get? They have access to the program, they have access to many information, they have access to a cashless managing tool, but they also can see the impact on the festival's economy. They see how their money is being split, and they can donate directly to artists. So who do we address most of all? We've been working now with 4 different festivals in Germany, France, and Holland. Most of the time we work with non-profit structures that are already good practices actors. You would be surprised to see how much of the market that constitutes. Actually, in France, more than 70% of the festivals are based on non-profit association. So we actually have lots of persons to work with now. And the good thing is that they are most of the time convinced already of, or like already practitioners of the ethic improvement we propose, but just like the tool. So that's what we're doing. We are a European project. We've been for 1.5 years now supported by Creative Europe. So take the opportunity to say thank you here. We are working, like our program is going to end in January, and my talk in 1 minute. We are working on new features for the application. We want to put all-in-one a ticketing system, which will be put at use at the SeaNaps festival this year in November in Leipzig. You're all invited. We also want to put new nice-to-have features such as access management, and we want to evolve next year towards direct phone payment. So in order to give more autonomy to the users, so we can also send credits from one to the other and more directly interact with artists. We have, just a little bit more, we have also a very important research program. We're working with researchers from Austria, from France, and from Switzerland to think the creation of this token-based economy. Our intuition behind the whole project was that the music circuit in Europe can be perceived as a local economy in the sense that it gathers actors that have the same claims and that share many aspects of their daily life transactions, relation to audience, etc. And blockchain is allowing for these communities to self-manage, to create a token that is common to all, to pool resources, to create healthy and solidary economy, basically. So by the end of next year, we would like to initiate the creation of the first European cultural token that can be used from one festival to the next, to which we want to attach different advantages, such as bonuses you can get, or like different possibilities of interaction, basically. Just one word about how we are constituted now. Like, we're working from 3 different countries. We founded one association this year, and next year we will found a company which is going to be based in France. The relation between these two, the association is going to become a shareholder of the company, so any profits made by the company can be redirected towards the association, which is managing the community of users around Europe. So buying new material, communication, etc. So this will allow us to lower the price for our users, build a strong and inclusive community, both for cultural workers, but also audiences. And yeah, that's it. I think I'm past time, so thank you.